What's up, you Frakes? Jonathan Frakes of Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction fame.
Do you believe this story? How was the doctor able to send email without a computer?
Were there gases trapped within the milk bucket that caused the activity?
To Jonathan Frakes ass motherfuckers out there. But unlike the original Jonathan Frakes, I'm gonna be showing you nothing but real shit today. Anyway, I'm Hoss Bossman and dude, you wanna see a crazy YouTube video?
This is important information about a product we hope you never have to use. Mace. Now you can have the same sense of security that many people find with Mace, because the original formula used by police and the military is now legally available to you. Mace shoots a powerful stream up to 12 feet. Any upper body contact causes profuse tearing and a painful burning sensation. Just one spray can instantly stop an assailant for up to 20 minutes. Unfortunately, personal safety is a serious concern today. But you don't have to feel defenseless. You can keep Mace in your car, within reach at home. Take it with you jogging, or carry it in your pocket or purse. For an added sense of security, shouldn't you carry Mace? Just in case.
To order Mace,
I found a few ads that aired around Halloween time in 1991, and they give an interesting snapshot of the mood in America at the time. I'm hoping that I'll arrive at some sort of grand unifying point in recording some of these observations on these ads, but even if that doesn't work out and this winds up going nowhere, it'll still be a fun time. And, you know, what was happening in America in 1991 led us straight to what's happening in 2023. So maybe something can come of ruminating over this. But it'll be a good time no matter what, so come along with me on this journey. So I was going to make a video about Tim Pool and Emma Vigeland and him accusing her of being a pervert, and I even wrote a little essay that I'm pretty sure successfully ties the whole thing into the 1981 TV movie A Dark Night of the Scarecrow. But I actually work with kids in real life, so I should probably stay away from commenting on the whole groomer narrative topic, considering it's about being baselessly accused of child abuse, and I plan to make my living as a teacher until I'm dead. And I would be criticizing the side of the aisle that's currently accusing everyone who thinks sex ed should exist or that LGBTQ+ people should exist of being groomers or perverts or PDF files. A little potential conflict if there's backlash there, but I'm not going to let that keep me from actually talking about the topic. I just want to think it through thoroughly before I do. Anyway, that's where I found these ads, on a VHS recording of that Dark Night of the Scarecrow movie I found online. So the ads I'm going to show you aired on TBS in 1991, and the collection I had to choose from was completely arbitrarily determined. These are just the ads that happened to air with Dark Night of the Scarecrow on that fateful night. Okay, back to this very important and relevant Mace ad from 1991. I didn't know much about aerosolized self-defense poison until kind of looking into it just now. Maybe it's just me, but I always thought that mace and pepper spray were two different things, or like pepper spray was consumer grade mace maybe. But apparently mace is like Kleenex or Band-Aid, a brand name that's become the default way of referring to a generic thing. Pepper spray was originally formulated for self-defense against humans in the 1960s, but it wasn't actually approved for use against humans until 1989, a couple years before this ad aired. I have some feelings about pepper spray. It's definitely been overused and abused by law enforcement during protests and such, and in fact it is illegal to use pepper spray on someone who isn't doing anything wrong or violent or illegal or whatever. Wait, what? Cops use pepper spray against peaceful protesters all the time anyway. Occupy protesters at UC Davis won a lawsuit in 2012 against a cop who pepper sprayed them. I found a couple other cases like that from California too, actually. A little trigger happy with the pea spray out there in California, eh? But yeah, we've all seen videos, and many of us have been present when cops unleashed tons and tons of tear gas or sprayed a bunch of pepper spray on peaceful protesters. I think I've also read before that pepper spray is considered a chemical weapon and is actually illegal to use, like it's forbidden in warfare internationally, but it's used here by the cops all the time. I wonder if that's true.
Great ass!
But I guess that of the four options I understand cops to have when it comes to committing violence against the public, pepper spray ain't the worst. In fact, I'd rather be pepper sprayed than tased, beaten to death with a nightstick, or shot in the back as I'm running away. And it is good that civilians have a non-lethal way of warding off attackers. Like, if you live in or frequent a dangerous area, I'd way rather you buy a can of J.D. Salinger branded pepper spray than a gun. That was another thing I noticed in this ad. The packaging looks like a combo between these editions of J.D. Salinger's books being published published when I was younger, and the MARTA logo, which is the criminally underfunded and insufficient public transit thing in Atlanta. But that doesn't mean anything. So what's the point here? Well, it helps to have a little bit of a sense of what the mood was like in the 1980s and 90s in America. It's sort of paradoxical, or strange at least. On the one hand, there was this end of history idea that the Soviet Union, which had begun its collapse in 1989 by most measures, had shown the world that communism was a dead end, that the United States had essentially won the Cold War, and that now US-style capitalism would fully engulf the planet for all the rest of time, which would end all war and conflict and poverty and make the world a perfect capitalist utopia. But on the other hand, the terrible crime rates of the 1970s and 80s and the rise in the variety and availability of illegal drugs gave politicians a great excuse to start throwing all of America's non-white people in jail. They of course sprinkled some poor white people in there too, to avoid suspicion. I mean, people are always going to be afraid of crime on some level, but the 80s and 90s saw a really rapid, stark increase in the paranoia people had around things like crime and violence and drugs. Weird stuff like Satanism and UFOs too. Glad America finally grew out of that phase and started living in reality. The ad itself even contains contradictory mindsets. We really hope you never have to use this, but the world is a scary place, and you're safe if you buy our crap. It's like we're living through the greatest period of flourishing our species has ever experienced, but also you need to buy poisonous spray to ward off attackers. I don't know, is that commentary? I just thought it was funny to download a VHS recording of a TV movie being aired on TBS in 1991, get all excited about what the commercials would be like, then seeing a Mace ad for the first commercial of the first commercial break. There were other funny ads, but I wanted this video to be short, so I guess it's just about Mace now, and I'll use those for something else later. Please comment and subscribe and all that, but most importantly, watch this insane ad from Children International, which took up an entire commercial break on that VHS rip I downloaded.
5-year-old Melanie lives in a wooden shack in a disease-infested slum in the Philippines. At night, she eats only a bowl of rice and goes to sleep on a floor mat. Melanie desperately needs nutritious food, medicine when she is sick, and a chance to go to school. Now, for only $12 a month through Children International, you can sponsor a child like Melanie who needs your love. Call the number on your screen and tell the operator you want to sponsor a child for only $12 a month. Choose a boy or a girl. Then, in just a few days, you'll receive an envelope to mail us your first month's payment. Your child will learn that her waiting is over, that you are her sponsor, and you'll have your complete sponsorship kit with your child's photo and her personal history, telling you all about her health, and her family situation. You'll begin to know your child. You'll also receive a special report about your child's country, answers to your questions, and more. During the year, you'll receive 2 personal letters from your child filled with love and gratitude. You are not obligated to write, but you may write as often as you wish and send birthday and Christmas cards too. Through updated photos, reports, and letters, you and your child will grow closer to each other. You will watch her blossom and grow strong because of your love and all that your $12 a month is providing for her. Food and clothing, medical care, a chance to go to school, help for the family. You will see the difference you have made in her life. Decide now to take one special child into your heart and change her world with your love. Call now and become a sponsor. I
remember seeing these weird ads in the 90s all the time, which of course laid it on pretty thick, but this one is so long and detailed and emphasizes how good you're going to feel about yourself when you sponsor a child, with a very odd amount of time spent on telling you how much detail you're going to get about this kid's day-to-day life.
You're not just going to be donating money. You're going to have the ability to stalk this child from half a world away.
Which was apparently a selling point for some people. I think most people nowadays would see the way this ad makes charity all about the experience and feelings of the person donating as pretty gross, but you be the judge and sound off in the comments, as you two people say. I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I was hoping to find out that Children International is a massive scam, because that would have been better for the video, but they're a real charity that still exists and seems not to be a scam, which, yeah, is better than it not having been a scam the whole time, I guess. Not as interesting, though. Alright, next full video I'm going to post is that 5 Iron Frenzy song analysis thing about the song Giants. Please check that out when it comes up. It's going to be up real soon, like maybe a week or less than a week. Love ya. Mwah.